What is up, guys? This is Zach from Anglers Escape, and today I have my favorite 5 trout lures in front of me, and I want to make this video short and sweet and just show you the best ones out there. I've been trout fishing probably 10 plus years now, and by far my favorite is Inline Spinners. Panther Martin is definitely my favorite brand. They're a little more pricey. I got these 6 lures for 18 bucks at Dick's, so it's a little more pricey, but they're definitely worth it. I get a size 1 to a size 2, but they're hard to beat. I really like these rainbow trout colors. They kind of mimic a little baby trout, and that's a lot of times what they're eating. Silver and gold also work really well, but Panther Martin you can't beat. Another couple good brands for inline spinners, South Bend. You can get these from Walmart. I think a pack of 6 is about 10 bucks, and Blue Fox is another excellent brand. Again, I get usually size 1 to size 2. Blue Fox you can also pick up at Walmart. I believe they're the cheapest. It's about 5 lures for 6 bucks, only a little bit over $1 a piece, where Panther Martin's closer to 3 bucks a piece if you buy a 6-pack. But by far, definitely try inline spinners. Excellent bait, and again, all these you're going to be wanting to use 4-pound test line, because anything thicker and those trout will start to see it and you'll start losing bites. So 4-pound test line, inline spinners, best bet. And let's move on to number 2, and that's Trout Magnets. I've caught a lot of fish on these. I'll show you some clips of me catching some fish with Trout Magnets, but basically you just suspend them a little bit with a bobber. You don't always have to use a bobber, but it has a really great action. I really like it a lot. Here's one already out of the box. Can't beat them. You can pick them up from Dick's. Walmart sometimes carries them, and Amazon as well. And again, they're called Trout Magnets. The next thing I'd like to talk about, my third favorite, is just going to be a small spoon or a Castmaster. And so these Castmasters are really nice, or a spoon that's about 1 inch is a really good bait. This one I've used a long time. I've kind of phased it out a little bit with the inline spinners, but I used to catch a lot of trout on this lure right here, actually. Just haven't used it in the last year or so because I've been using inline spinners. But again, Castmaster is another good thing. So a small spoon is a number 3 on my list. So number 4 is going to be a small crankbait, no more than about 1.5 inches. Here's a couple right here that kind of resemble a minnow. This one's about 1.5 inches. This one's about 1.5 inches. I really like the jointed crankbait. It gives it a lot of action. And again, you want a small crankbait. Anything bigger and those trout won't hit it. And so that's number 4. And number 5, guys, is going to be a Marabou Jig. I'd get a 1/64 ounce Marabou Jig. And a lot of times what I like to do is do a 2 jig rig. So as you can see here, I have 1 jig. This could be a 1/64 ounce Marabou Jig. And then about 6 inches up my line, I'll tie on a Trout Magnet. So then I'm using both at the same time. And again, I'm suspending these under a little bobber. Not too big, because when the trout take that bait, they're going to pull the bobber under. The bigger the bobber, the more resistance they'll feel, and the more likely they are to spit it out. So just a real small bobber, just maybe 3-4 feet underwater. Sometimes you don't even need the bobber. If you have a small enough pound test line and a real light action pull, you can just cast one of those small jigs out without the bobber. Quick tip, guys, whenever you're fishing with the lures, I always bring a second pole if it's allowed, and to use a trout bait. So the trout baits just sit there. Berkeley floating trout bait, make sure it's floating. And if you get these little preformed balls that stay on the hook really well, and use a real small hook. But I always bring one pole, throw out the bait, let it sit, and then I start using the lures, and that doubles my odds. So that's a good thing to go to when you're trout fishing and you want to bring home a nice catch. But these are my favorite 5 trout baits. I hope you give one of them a try, and as always, good luck fishing.